guys, it's Jess from BehatiLife. I haven't been on YouTube in forever, but I wanted to come back here to share a message that I received recently during a reading. So thank you for those who are following and listening, and um, I want to welcome you to subscribe to the channel because hopefully there's going to be a lot more of these videos and messages coming through as we move forward into the year and the years ahead. So the topic that I wanted to talk about today and the message that I wanted to bring to you is something that I think a lot of people have had issues with and problems with, or have experienced, or have questions about, or their own feelings of, okay, what's going on here, what's happening here. And the topic is when you're trying to connect with angels or with God or people who have passed on, and especially angels and with God, like why you can't feel them, and why, if you're asking for a message, why it doesn't come clearly, especially when you're in a desperate state, or if you're emotional and you're begging and you're asking for answers and clarity and messages, and to send me a sign. Lots of people are like, send me a sign that you're here and that this is real. So before I get into the message of it, how the message came to me was through a reading with a woman that she's just, and I'm not going to say any names. I like every reading that I do, I keep them very private and I keep them very exclusive. I don't like sharing details of names or people who it is that I work with, no matter who they are, simply because of privacy and respect for that person, and also the sacred time and energy that's shared within the reading. So I'm not going to share her name, but she is a really incredible, powerful healer, and I was just really honored to be able to work with her, and we had an amazing reading together. But so the focus of our reading during the time, and what I was doing, my tool that I was using during the reading was tarot, and a little bit of astrology, but more tarot than anything, and also a lot of my intuition and my own vibes. So the focus of the reading was relationships, and she was opening up to this new relationship that she was welcoming into her life. And however, with the spirit world and with any type of, if you're connecting, or if you're working with the angels or with the guides, they use it as an opportunity to give information that they want to deliver that they haven't had the chance to, or it's almost like, okay, now's my opportunity, now's my chance. So I'm working with her on this relationship reading, and for those of you who are psychic or third eye gifted or work with the intuition, you might know this, but for me, what happens is my everything gets really, really quiet. Like, it's like literally my spirit, my energy, everything stills and gets really, really like quiet. Sometimes I get foggy. In this case, when I was describing to her, I was just like, okay, hold on. And I just felt really, really foggy and almost like sleepy, but it's just like in this weird daze and fog. And as soon as I did that, it just starts, either it comes in what I like to call, and this is the worst metaphor, it's so gross, but I call it word vomit, where it just kind of like builds up. There's like this emotional build up in my stomach, and it just kind of like pours out within like words and messages, and then as soon as it's done, and I get quiet. However, in this case, it was just quiet. I was talking with her, I was giving her the reading, I was delivering the message, and then all of a sudden I just got really, really quiet. And it was completely unrelated, but I looked up, and as soon as I looked up, I just started channeling, and the message was, for this woman, I'm just going to say her name is Sally. I just was like, the message was, Sally, like, we're here, and I felt the presence of all these angels and guides reaching out and touching her and putting their hands all over her. And the fact that the word that they used was, we don't have the capacity to physically be there and touch you the way that we want to, but I honestly experienced and felt and saw through her eyes. I mean, me as a physical person, like I was here in the physical body, but I saw through like God's eyes this infinite, unconditional love that was so overpowering and so overwhelming, to look at this woman and to see and feel for her what God and the angels felt and her guides felt for her. It was so unconditional. It was so full of love. And they just were like, we're here, we've been here. For the times when you're praying, and this was the word that they used, they said, we do not have the capacity to reach out and touch you in the way that you need to be to be touched and to be held. And there were so much messages that were packed into that, and I'll go into that, but to me, it blew my mind personally, and I'm a spiritual person, and I constantly am working, I have a really strong connection with God and the divine and the angels and the guides, and I work with them daily with my readings one-on-one, but also with myself in my personal life. So it was literally, my mind was blown, because I'm like, you're God, like you're the angels, you're like our guides, you can do anything, and you're telling me and you're delivering the message of, we don't have the capacity to physically touch you. So it's almost as if when the angels are here, the guides are here, whenever we're praying or we're asking for these signs and these signals, they will come in, and it's like, if you do feel them, it's like feather brush strokes, like it's very light, or a tickle in the scalp. But as physical human beings here on the earth, we're asking for something more than I learned within that reading that they can't deliver to us. And that's why it's so important, again, like let's say for people who are asking about love relationships, and if they feel guilty because they're like, yo, there's people around the world who are dealing with cancer, or are dealing with heartbreak or loss or suffering, some real suffering, and here I'm asking for a relationship, or I'm asking for friendship, or I'm asking to be held and hugged and cared for. But these things that you're asking for are very, very important. And if it was important enough for the angels and the guides to deliver the message of, we want to touch you, but we do not have the physical capacity to come in and hold you in the way that we want to, and lift you up, and nurture you and hold you, and remind you and tell you how loved you are and how much we are here. It's so important for us to ask for those things, of to be held and to be touched and hugged and kissed and told that you're loved in the physical way. So the message behind it was, for those of you who are trying so hard to receive a confirmation or a message, a physical confirmation, just like send me a sign. Your angels and your guides, I mean, let me backtrack. So you're probably like thinking, okay, Jess, you had this reading for this one woman, but I'm not that woman. So how is this a universal message? How does this message apply to me if you had that message for that one woman? So a lot of times, so many times when I'm doing a reading, the person will ask a question, but it'll become very clear to me that the answer, even though it's directed to them in that moment, it doesn't apply to just them. It applies to all of us on a universal message. If I had to describe it and maybe put it to explain it, it's like, that universal, we are all connected, we are all one. That is literally how the spiritual world works, and that's also how the messages come through. That if you if one person is receiving a message, or if I am receiving, or if I'm asking for a message and it comes through, it will tell me very clearly that yes, this is for you, but this is for you or everyone. Everyone is connected, everyone receives the same message. This applies to everybody. And the same was true for this woman when we were working together in this reading. It was an absolutely amazing experience. I was crying, and I kept on telling her, I was like, look, Sally, that's not a real name. It's just a example name. But I kept on saying, look, Sally, I'm not crazy. Don't think that I'm crazy. But I just looked at her again, and I burst into tears, because it was, the angels were crying for her and reaching out and touching, and the guides and God, everyone was, they kept on saying, when you cry, we have already cried for you. It was like, the times when you can't cry, we are crying for you. The times when you are happy, we are so happy, we are so overjoyed for you. So they're so supportive, they're so loving and encouraging, but it's just physically here on this earth, like we ask for the signs, we ask to be touched, we ask for the messages, we ask to be held and for confirmation that we're going to be okay and that we're not forgotten. And the angels are here, but they will provide it in the way of messages, like maybe you stumbling across the YouTube channel, or and then you hearing this message, or a friend or a stranger coming up and holding you and feeling the need to come up and hold you. That's why it's so important for you to for relationships in general, for us to sorry, the camera's shaking. I'm using a selfie stick because I couldn't don't even ask me how I have a selfie stick, but I have a selfie stick. I got it as a gift, but and I don't have my tripod with me right now, so I have to use this right now. So I'm sorry for those of you guys who are getting dizzy and stuff, but so it's so important, like the physical connection and physical people. And this, I mean, not to go off on a tangent or anything like that, but for so many people who are like, well, I'm independent and I don't need anybody, you are really cutting out a lot. You're cutting out connections to angels and that and your guides, because how the angels will manifest themselves and show support is by bringing feelings into other people to come up and to hold you and to embrace you and be like, hey, I don't even know why I'm here right now, but I just felt the need to come up and talk to you and to give you a hug. In those moments, if you have not received a physical confirmation or sign of your loved ones who have passed on, or angels or guides showing you support and love and caring and attention, that's them directing that energy, because they literally do not have the capacity, was the exact word that they use, in order to come up and embrace you in the way that it is that you're asking for, and in order to send you a super clear sign. So just be aware. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. Please definitely share this message with other people that you know, if they have experienced loss, or if they've been reaching out for angels and guides and trying to connect, and they're getting silence, or they're not getting much of a message. This message is for them. Please share this video with them. If you also, I want to say, for those, whenever I post a video up and it's known that I do readings, I want to say that I don't do work in order to connect with those who have passed on. If they come through during a reading, then they come through, but I don't really, not that I don't open the door, but my intention is not to connect with loved ones who have passed on. I feel like those are things that you can do for yourself. When I am doing a reading, just a side note, when I'm doing a reading, it's more for clarity, insight, transformation, to help you in the physical life now, not for things that have passed on. However, if an angel or spirit, I work more with spirit and guides and angels and with God than I do with anything else. So if you're looking for our to connect with those who have passed on, I just want you to kind of respect the fact that I'm not going to actively try to connect with that for the reading requests that I will be receiving. But I do just want to say that if you do want to book a reading with me, those appointments are available, and you can see those at my website. I'll put those down below. Or you can always email me at BehatiLife@gmail.com. But until then, you guys, I love you so much, and I'm so happy again to be back on the YouTube channel, and hopefully pumping out more videos as they come through and messages as they come through, especially with tarot and astrology updates, okay? So I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk with you soon.